Now the real solution to spotting your long-range targets is the Longshot LR3 2-mile target camera. Well, you know what they say, if it's not raining, you're not training. It is definitely raining this morning. Get a little rainfall for you right here. See, raining. All right, that was more than I wanted. I figured I would go through and do a quick review of the different types of spotting scope and camera options that there are. So here we have a Vortex Razor HD. This is an 11 to 33. So this is a smaller spotting scope. This is one that I take in my hunting backpack for antler identification specifically. It's 33 power, so it's more than my hunting scope. So if you're trying to make sure that that forky has a 1-inch spike or whatever, to make sure that your mule deer is legal, that's what I have this for. Also, you're not supposed to be glassing with your scope, with your rifle scope. That's the purpose of this. This is a Bushnell 20 to 60. I bought this for the same purpose. It was a smaller spotting scope as opposed to my main spotting scope. I bought this, comes with a tripod and everything, for $300, and then I ultimately settled on the Razor. This is a spotting scope that you've seen several times. This is a Leupold SX-4 Pro. This is a 20 to 60 with an 85mm objective lens. The Spot Shot is on the Bushnell. A Vanguard Digiscope is on the Razor with an iPhone XR. And then a Phone Skope is on the Leupold with my Samsung S21. Okay, I'll get that target recording on all three of these. So all three of these are zoomed in to a 100-meter target. And I've already adjusted the clarity the best I can on that. So I think what I'll do is I'll run you from how easy to difficult it is to move from one target to another target, and also adjusting zoom range. We'll start with the Razor. Now, the Razor has such a small optical lens, it's hard to get a good eye relief on a camera. And also, in order to, any of these scope cameras would have done the same thing. They're on the zoom adjuster. So as I adjust zoom, the camera will turn. Anyway, I'm going to move from 100-yard target to the 200. Yep. So that's as zoomed in as you can get. All we can do here is try to clear up the image. So that's a 200-yard target. Okay, so with the Vortex Razor, you would not be able to identify bullet holes at a 200-yard target. Move this to the 200. Here we can still zoom in. Now both of these are easier to adjust targets because you can see what you're doing right there in front of you. The Spot Shot you cannot see, although they do make one with a built-in camera or with a built-in display. So to move this, you have to watch the screen that you're recording on. This one also goes on the adjustment ring. So as you adjust, your picture moves. And now you have to wiggle around and try to find your target. While watching the screen. So that's a 200-yard target there. It's about as good an image as I'm going to get. Spotting bullet holes is going to be quite difficult. So let's see if I can zoom this one. This is already to 60. At 200 yards with a phone scope and a Leupold, you're not going to be able to identify bullet holes there. And definitely not with the Vortex. So now I'm going to find the 300-yard target. That's 4. What was that? 3. There's 4. There's 3. That is shoot and see. So you might be able to identify a shot. Okay, on a shoot and see, that's actually pretty clear. This should be fun. There's your 300. All right. There's your 300. Now, what's going to happen when we zoom in? Lost it. So as you can see, this is quite the fun game to play, trying to use a spot shot. So here you're not able to get a very crisp image But that's just as you're making the adjustments to try to find your image, the camera's moving all over the place. A little bit of vibration here is a lot of vibration at 300 yards. Oddly enough, the Viper looks like it has the most crisp image. It's just far away. So on the Leupold, you can get a crisp image, but then the phone camera autofocuses and is not the best image. So I think the thing to do here is probably take a shot at that 300 and see if these are all picking it up. So the answer appears to be that none of these can see the shot. I walked down there and I saw where the shot is. It's on the very edge of the circle at 5 o'clock. With the spot cam, you can just see there's a little dot down there at the 5 o'clock on the red circle. Now, the spot shot has no digital zoom. So let's see if on the Leupold, if I can zoom in and see the shot better. I know that it's there, so in my brain I can see it, but you really cannot. The other problem that you get with a spotting scope is you can see the mirage. And if the mirage wasn't there, that might clear up a little bit. Okay, let's see if we can zoom on the iPhone. Okay, when that quits bouncing around, let's see what we can find. Knowing that it's there, I can see it, but I would not have been able to spot that with my naked eye by watching the video. What I think I can do though is we'll take the phone scope off. This is going to mess everything up. Let's take the spot shot off. Let's put the spot shot on. The Leupold. And now let's see if we can go find that. Again, target acquisition should be enjoyable, to say the least. It was a very funny. It's upside down, maybe? Ah, there we go. So that should be my 300. That's 400. all the way zoomed in. So I would say that I can actually see that. Now let's throw another one in it. See, I can see it in the scope, and I can see it with the Leupold. So to see 300-yard targets, a $1,000 scope, and a $200 camera, and a high visibility target will give you just enough to see. Would not have picked it up on the Bushnell. The Razor with an iPhone doesn't work. So this is a $1,200 setup. I think there's a better option though. Not able to see your target at 300 yards? I have just the thing for that. But no, not this drone. Although this drone will do the job. Let's take a look. So let's fly a drone down to the target and see how that works out. That's 200 yards. There we are. You're looking for 2 bullet holes. So yes, you can send a drone down. It is a way. In fact, if you wanted, you could even hover the drone right there and continue shooting, but it's so little I don't know if you could see it, and it might get expensive. There's us back here. Hi YouTube, hi preppers and procrastinators. All right, well that's a way. It's cheaper than a $800 camera, but I would not say that only has a 30-minute battery life, so by the time you get down there and set up, it's almost, you have like 10-15 minutes worth of shooting. It's going to bring itself back home. Now the real solution to spotting your long-range targets is the Longshot LR3 2-mile target camera. I already have the camera portion set up, but it comes with a receiver that looks just like the camera, but there'd be a camera here. And then the camera is actually set up 15 yards in front of the target, 300 yards away. So you set up the receiver facing down towards the target. Then you set up your camera down at the other end, and look how crystal clear you can see those bullet holes. You can also add on the screen a back shot of the shooter. So when I go to put this up on the shooting bench, or the shooting rest later, you'll be able to see me and the target at the same time. So GoPro might be obsolete with this as well.